She says the Democrats seem to really like to lose, according to Meghan McCain. So let's not waste any time. Let's react to what she said.
On two-way, who recently sat down, by the way, with Citizen McCain on two-way, who recently sat down, by the way, with the second lady, Usha Vance, for a wide-ranging interview. Meghan McCain is back. Meghan, great to have you back. How are you?
I'm
hear
good.
you
Thank
have
you so much
good
for having
news.
me, Sean.
Congratulations are in order. I heard about it.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm pregnant with my third child. Ben and I are so excited, and it probably feels a little weird for you. You've known me since I was very young, and we're just really thrilled. You know, it's such a blessing, and we're gonna have 3 kids, and I'm about to be a boy mom. So anybody that has any advice about going from 2 to 3 or having boys, please send me as much advice as possible.
If you want my advice, I'll give it to you offline. You go through this beautiful period when they're little, then you lose them for a few years, and then eventually they come back. It's those interim years that are the hard ones. Congratulations. I mean,
Thank you.
You know, I watch the Democrats and listen to them. Stephen A. Smith gives me a hard time. He's my buddy, and he says, you know, you love to play AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Al Green and crazy, you know, Grandpa Bernie, because you want the world to realize they're the Democratic Party. But they do control the Democratic Party. We haven't, that I've seen, I haven't heard from Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries about taking out Iran's nuclear facility, because they're afraid of the radicals that do run that party. Am I wrong?
No, you're completely right. And I think, you know, I respect Stephen A. Smith, but these are the people the Democrats are putting front and center. And Jasmine Crockett is a deeply unserious person who I think only got elected to enhance her social media presence. And, you know, she goes on her social media and makes these ridiculously absurd, outlandish videos. She has no background at all in national security, in the military, in anything that in any reason should give her an opinion on what's happening in Iran. And is quite frankly pretty, angry and histrionic in these videos. And I think it's for the sole purpose, honestly, is to get people talking on shows like this and to get attention. I don't think she's going to pass a bill. I don't think she has any kind of real future. I think, unfortunately for the Democrats, the problem is they have this whole group of young talent coming up in their party who only care about being famous. They don't care about helping the American people, and they don't care about helping passing bills or actually getting anything done. And I think she's patient zero in that.
The thing that I have seen happen, and I don't think the Democratic Party is the party of working men and women. They used to claim to have that mantle, and they had all the union support. That support is now evaporated. For example, why would they be against the one big beautiful bill that cuts taxes for working Americans? Why would they be against or vote against, you know, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime? Why would they be against secure borders? Why are they for or championing the rights of men to play women's sports? Why are they fighting for the Abrego Garcias of the world, or, you know, torturing Donald Trump and ICE for doing their job and arresting murderers and child molesters and other violent criminals and cartel members out in California? That's what the party's evolved into.
Well, and when you look at the data that came out from the last election on how much President Trump was able to expand his coalition in every minority group and every segment of the population except white college-educated women, he has completely remade the Republican Party, and the Democrat Party has become a minority party. There are fewer people registered, fewer people voting. It's why they're having so many problems. And the thing I don't understand is when Republicans have lost elections, we have taken time to assess why and thought about new leadership and thought about what we're doing wrong. Democrats just seem to like to lose. I mean, you brought up the biological men and women's sports issue. That's an 80% of the American public disagrees with that. 20% of the American public agree. And that's an issue that they're going to double, triple down until the end of time. I actually think Democrats at this point would prefer to lose and keep their radical stances than ever win any election. And you brought up the fact I just had the privilege to interview our second lady, Mrs. Vance, and I actually believe there's a very strong potential. I would put a lot of money in Las Vegas that our vice president is going to be president very soon, not only because he's extremely talented and popular, but because Democrats have nothing and they have learned no lessons.
They fight and champion the right of men to play women's sports. They champion the rights of people that did not respect our laws, our borders, and our sovereignty over the safety of Americans. They couldn't stand for mothers that lost their children to Biden-Harris unvetted illegals at the joint session speech. They're not standing for working men and women when it comes to the economy. And, you know, if you go back to Trump's first term, for example, demographically, you mentioned demographics, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women in the workplace, African American youth unemployment, prior to COVID, record low after record low after record low. And that to me shows, and the 10 trillion in investments, automobile manufacturing, semiconductor manufacturing, pharmaceutical manufacturing, $10 trillion Donald Trump has in commitments the next 4 years. Working men and women are going to get high paying career jobs, and that's great for the economy.
Yep.
Yeah, and what are Democrats doing right now? As you showed in the clip a minute ago, Congressman Al Green is putting up impeachment proceedings that got almost no votes. Their answer is not coming up with solutions or policy changes or trying to find any kind of synergy where we can possibly agree on issues. Their answer is just this bizarre obsession with impeachment and trying to take President Trump out. President Trump is one of the most paradigm shifting presidents of any generation. I don't care if you support him or don't support him, you cannot negate that. He is one of the most popular presidents that we've had in the past 4 decades. And the idea that you are going to somehow take out his popularity by trying to impeach him again, you arrested him, you raided his home, you tried everything you could possibly do in every way to take him out using, in my opinion, you know, unjust legal ways. And your answer right now is trying to impeach him again after he justly, fairly, within all his rights and powers as our commander-in-chief, got rid of, you know, nuclear places in Iran, which is making the world a better place and a safer place. I don't understand it. I think they're just, you know, abject, insane people. But I am, as a Republican and conservative who wants to see us in power for the rest of my life, I'm sure happy that they're not learning anything.
100%. I agree with Mrs. Meghan McCain. Lovely to see that she's doing well and she's about to have another baby. I thought she had him already, but I just overheard. But congrats on that. I saw, and listen, she's right on everything that she said. I mean, you know, they don't help themselves. It's unfortunate. Well, unfortunate for whoever. I think that it is always good to have a good competitive, two competitive parties. But I'm not deep into the one party over the other or the two-party system. I'm very much open-minded to anybody that comes up, but unfortunately, a lot of those independent or other neutral parties candidates don't really get anywhere. The only one that got really far was Robert Kennedy Jr., sorry, and I was going to vote for him, and but then he went with Trump, and well, listen, it has turned out pretty good for the country nonetheless. Hit the like button, folks. Don't forget to do that. Subscribe to the channel.